Welcome to the DCEU podcast. I'm Lantern, as you all know, and I'm here with a special guest to talk the Snyder Cut. Jacob, would you mind introducing yourself to everybody?
Hi, I'm Jacob Torres, the infamous, guy who Zack Snyder is following in Vero, and also the person who's part of the Snyder Cut movement.
And we're going to be talking about a lot of Snyder Cut. So if you don't like that, get the fuck out right now, because we're talking about the Snyder Cut for the next hour here. And
hmm
what's the first thing you want to talk about? What's the first on the agenda?
Well, the agenda is that, how are these, extended clips or never before scenes got out in the first place? It's like somehow, where did these scenes coming from? Like these match on a trailer or just match on the scenes that weren't in the movie but look better than what we got from Josh Whedon's cut?
Oh, yeah. I mean, somebody's leaking it out for sure. Either a special effects artist or somebody that worked on the film for sure. Or Zack Snyder himself. Somebody's leaking it out.
And it's so funny about one thing I learned from, well, I mostly got a lot of info from Fiona Zhang. She and I usually talk on Twitter, not on
Nice.
Vero, but we usually talk in the group chat in Vero about the Snyder Cut movement. And she's so wisdom. And plus, she even posts a lot of stuff from her Vero and sometimes a little bit of her Twitter. But usually, Twitter's like the only place we get a lot of info.
Yeah, you heard Jay Oliva's podcast when he was talking about the end of Justice League and
Yeah.
how it was going to be wildly different. Do you think we'll ever see that ending, or do you think they never finished special effects on it?
I don't know. We might see the original ending, like what Zack Snyder wanted to intended to see us to see, like, well, not this rehash Christopher Reeves version of Superman, but more like the savage way we prefer him to be like, and
Yeah,
less of CGI mustache.
yeah, much less mustache. There was Zack Snyder keeps posting Justice League images. He keeps posting stuff related to Justice League. He keeps liking people talking about the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, and plus, even though he responded about the questions from the Snyder Cut deleted scenes, like about the Flash suit and him talking about what Russian family.
Yeah,
I mean, I know that dude from Vero and Twitter, Abdul, who asked him about that question about the Russian family, and he said, "What Russian family?"
yeah. He is. I mean, he still hasn't seen the theatrical cut of Justice League.
You mean Justice League?
Justice League. He still hasn't seen it. It blows my mind that he has no idea what they've done to his film. Maybe he does know, but he just doesn't want to watch it.
After Zack Snyder did not want to compromise to become like a Marvel film, he
Yeah.
didn't want to do that, and then later they just hired Josh Whedon to do the reshoots, and he thought this would make them $1 billion and get 2 hour mandate.
Yeah, I mean, it totally backfired on them. I don't think they were ever expecting to make $1 billion on this film just because of the time they released it. I mean, I think it released 2 weeks before Star Wars, didn't it?
And also 2 weeks after the Door Ragnarok.
Yeah, it was a horrible slot. I mean, there's no way it was going to make 1 billion just
I
based
mean,
off.
I would have delayed it if they have any issues they could have done, like
Yeah,
delayed it for 3 months or four tops.
yeah. I mean, you could have had it like 2 months before Avengers came out. You could have had the Justice League film.
Instead, we got this sloppy version. We got it, and we just got like a crappy version with a bad CGI mustache.
Yeah.
Though Stephen Wolf doesn't look good, and my favorite part is that how there's so much deleted, 50 more minutes of deleted scenes and reshots.
Yeah.
What's not even surprising is that we got the storyboards of Superman and Cyborg so far. One about the Lois Lane with in the cornfield, the one with the real cyborg origin
Yeah.
in the first flight 2.0. I mean, I knew it was something like that when Henry Cavill was kneeling in the behind the scenes where he was
It's
kneeling.
exactly what it is. Yep. It's because they're about to shoot that scene. It was going to be the same shot from Man of Steel where he puts his fist on the ground and the dirt rises around him and he takes off, right? It was going to be that same scene, and we don't get it, right?
Yeah, we didn't get any of those scenes. Like, well, you saw the deleted scene where Iris West got saved by Barry, but that was shown in Comic Con. But I'm like this. Why did you manage to show all of these scenes but didn't want to see those That's
Yeah,
just fucking messed up.
it's wild. I mean, they had like 3 trailers, right, where they had all these scenes, the cyborg and Star Labs. Um, they had
With in the cornfields
yeah, the
and
cornfield.
Iris West being saved by Barry.
Yeah,
And my favorite part is that we would have seen Darkseid, killing Batman or killing Wonder Woman or
maybe
any.
I don't know if that would have been this Justice League film or the next film where they killed Batman, but still, we would have had Darkseid at some point.
I mean, it's so funny about Wild about what's happening right now. They're promoting Aquaman, but still, we're talking about Justice League, but we're not letting go because of this.
Yeah,
I mean, if the dumb bloggers say that you should let it go, I'm like, let it go. You've been talking about Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman so long, but mostly Batman vs Superman because you said Zack Snyder ruined Batman and Superman, Wonder Woman. But what evidence you did not see about what Josh Whedon ruined?
yeah, they refuse to like look at the damage that Josh Whedon or the executives did on Justice League. They just want us to move past it, and I don't understand what their agenda is. Like, why does every blogger want people to not talk about Justice League?
Really? I mean, you've been saying that the Russian family is not Zack Snyder's, but it was Josh Whedon, and Josh Whedon's defending his scene.
Yeah, the Russian family is a rehash from a moment in Age of Ultron, right, where they showed that family in that town.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same exact thing.
And what's so funny is like, why are we looking at Dole's family instead of the other Russian people who stayed there?
Yeah, you don't see any other people in that whole area. It's just this one group of people, this one family, and they don't even have any lines. Like they have one line at the beginning, and that's it. Like they're just stand-ins. They just fill in scenes, just to make the movie fit into 2 hours. That's the only reason they're there.
It's pathetic they did this.
Yeah,
Pathetic to show all of these amazing scenes. And I'm glad Henry Cavill did not shave the mustache.
right. Like he knew like the reshoots were a waste of time because he already shot his scenes.
Well, not only that, his original scenes were better and had better lines than what he said about the him saying those cringe-worthy lines.
And that's probably why he didn't want to shave his mustache, right? Because he knew it was going to be worthless to shave his mustache for that.
And Paramount Pictures too, declined not to do it.
Yeah, that was another thing too. We should have Man of Steel 2 by now, or at least in development.
Or another a solo Superman film too.
Yeah,
I mean, knowing about Henry Cavill wanted to do more Superman films is like, damn, WB, you should let him do his passion he wants to do.
yeah. I mean, they keep cutting him, by the knees. Like BVS, you took a half hour out of his film, and it
Well,
was, still good. But
took away some like 10 or 15 minutes away from him.
yeah,
I mean, the real idea of what really went bad for Justice League is that it was one, well, the reshoots. Two, it was Zack Snyder's tragedy of his daughter.
yeah.
Third is WB's greediness, and fourth is the last minute things they did.
Last minute reshoots and stuff.
Yeah, but mostly about Zack Snyder's tragedy that happened.
Yeah, it almost makes you think what would Justice League be like if Autumn didn't commit suicide and Zack Snyder stayed on the movie all the way to the end. He probably would have fought for it a lot, more.
Yeah, he would have.
Yeah, but like he was out of energy at that point. He didn't want to keep fighting for a movie when he's going through all this heavy shit.
I mean, I get the point. He was trying to spend his time with his family.
Yeah, and I think that's legit. I don't think that that was a cover. I think he legitimately was out of it. He didn't want to keep working anymore. A lot of rumors say that was WB's way out, was to kick him off at the same time his daughter committed suicide. I don't believe a company would go that low, right?
That would make them like a monster. They are.
Yeah, that would make them really like irredeemable. Like they would be the worst kind of company ever. Did you read that Jay Oliva tweet when he was talking about Zack Snyder?
Yes, I did, man. And also, did you read about Zack's comment in Vero about the original ending was supposed to be epic? Remember the Batman vs Superman ending where Superman was he was still barely alive, and he was
Yeah.
supposed to be some kind of explanation why the hell did the dirt rise up.
Yeah, and Zack Snyder said it meant much more, much more.
Well, I mean, this is like you executives think it was okay to alternate and delete his Superman's archive, and you're okay having this Tyler Hoechlin wearing a black suit.
Hmm.
I mean, this is like I would let let Henry Cavill wear a black suit and have a beard on.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I would want to see
I mean,
in his Snyder cut, right?
why do you think Henry would nail the black suit than Tyler Hoechlin?
Yeah, I mean there was a thing that went around about how Zack Snyder shot the suit so that they could change colors if they wanted to.
And
Um,
you think
in
and you think
post.
Henry and you think Henry would look good if he had a beard on for a black suit?
Yeah, you look great. I mean, that'd be like my dream. That's something everybody was wanting when the movie came out, right? That's what we all wanted to see. But I don't think
Like,
he had the beard during production, right?
yeah, but I wish
Yeah.
Henry, did wear a beard on, during reshoots, not still CGI, but more like, looking like a dead man who, you know, just act like an insane, you know, act like, just some kind of Satan looking, like, not that
Yeah.
bad CGI, but more like, oh shit, I've seen Satan's eyes. Yeah, I mean, that's like, oh, I mean, which one do you think is worse? To see bearded Superman with all raging eyes, or you prefer a regular Steppenwolf's eyes to look at?
Dude, I think Steppenwolf looked too human, right? He needed to look more alien. He needed to look fucking
Well,
scarier.
I wouldn't say alien. I would say more like devil
Yeah,
combined with alien
like
flavor.
how he was originally, made in Batman vs Superman when we saw him,
We were introduced by Steppenwolf for the
Mhm.
first time.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't get to see all of the scenes what we saw from Justice League. We didn't see. I mean, just today, I made a phone call to the Warner Bros. Studio today.
Mhm.
I made 3 messages, one for Walter Amada, one to Kevin Tucciara, and one to Toby Emmerich.
Nice. What'd you say?
Well, I told him that, hello, Mr. Walter Amada and Toby Emmerich and Kevin Tucciara, and I told him about I want to let you know I want you to release the Snyder Cut already what Mr. Snyder wanted to attend it, and how you can recover your trust back to the fans, and how this can. I didn't say anything about the boycott, but I just said that we all demand the cut to be released, and how much we worked so hard about this.
They definitely have been getting a lot of phone calls, right? It's been happening all this month.
I mean, the operator had been saying, "Are you talking about the Justice League?" And she did put me, to let me to comment or leave a message.
Yeah, because they've been getting a lot of calls like that this month, so they're used to it. They're used to it right now.
Cannot be ignored at all.
No, I feel like they're really just waiting for the right time right now.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean,
yeah,
we got Wonder Woman delayed.
yep,
Shazam getting a little bit of reshoots.
yeah. A little Shazam's getting reshoots. Wonder Woman's delayed till 2020. So there's a spot open for a Justice League director's cut, right?
And what's so funny about Zack Snyder? He's been posting about the what's it called, the 20 movie challenges.
Yes, in his last movie he posts is the director's cut or the final cut of Blade Runner.
The most liked version of Blade Runner is the final cut.
Yeah, it's the one I own. That unicorn scene is just for the final cut too. I mean that I think he's trying to give us a little hint
I
that
mean,
something's coming.
well, the unicorn scene was never on the theatrical cut, but once the theatrical
Yep.
or direct or the extended cut, I would call it,
Mhm.
before after it flopped, they gave us the how what the origami unicorn represents in the movie. And it's so funny about one thing about this. Oh yeah, about the what Zack Snyder released the storyboards is that he released 3 things. Like, okay, one was the Diana and Batman in the original scene where Batman was working on his
Yep.
ship,
Yep.
the box, and the other 2 images were the Flash and Batman. I mean, we saw the Batman scene like months ago.
Yeah, but this looked like it was Batman telling Barry to run. That's what it was looking like, right?
You meant Barry looking at the Unity?
Yeah, yeah. And Batman's like there's an explosion going off behind him. It looked way epic than what we got in the movie. And
Don't remind me how much we've been robbed, man.
yeah, because Zack Snyder, well, Jay Oliva has said that Zack Snyder shoots all the scenes that he makes in his storyboards. They shot all the storyboards. So if he's putting out storyboards, then they do have that footage.
I mean, if they say, I mean, all the scenes that was Zack Snyder before he stepped down, or you should say fired, in a rumor he was. I mean, it would be all finished by like 7 months. I mean, it's like, I was like a big chances of 80% done.
Yeah, I mean there's a good chance that he shot everything he wanted to shoot because that's what everybody is saying. That's what like Cyborg's saying, Ray Fisher, and that's what Jay Oliva's saying. People that worked on the film are saying that he had everything he wanted, right?
I mean, didn't Mr. Ray Fisher said his, he would make two movies? I'm like, really? This man is so talented that we don't need any
Yeah.
directors from Marvel. I mean, they're all just, how should I call them, mediocre on creativity. I mean, we're all gonna go with the same thing over and over and over with all Disney movies. I mean, just because they're new in a way and gonna be trending, it doesn't mean anything. It's just gonna be some kind of movie that's not gonna last long and forever to be talked about. I mean,
It's gonna be
like
forgotten. Yeah.
the Infinity War. That one's just gonna be lasted for 2 months, but now it's just like forgotten right now.
I mean, it's just as forgotten as Justice League, right? Like, the only reason we still talk about Justice League is because we want the Snyder Cut. We want to see the actual movie, which
Well,
we haven't gotten yet.
and plus we never got really recovered between Justice League, things that the scenes were alternated by Whedon.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, the last, MCU film I would think of it today is just the Ant-Man, but that one just now became just most forgotten for a week right now.
Yeah, I didn't see either Ant-Man movie, so
I didn't want to see. I'm not a big fan of most Marvel movies, but they're just, I don't know, too Disney-ish.
yeah, they're too formulaic. They're really boring. Like, I can't get behind any of those Marvel films.
Man, I'm just so behind right now. I mean, I didn't like the Black Panther was a good one, but the rest are just, I don't know. I
Mhm.
mean, the only thing I'd rather have of all of a Marvel movie that's not a Disney movie is mostly Venom or the new Spider-Man verse.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
I mean,
I'm interested in that Spider-Verse one that's coming out, right?
don't get me wrong. Most Marvel movies from Disney's are just somehow gone too bland now.
Yeah, they're really bland.
And what else? Okay, about the Snyder Cut. In the Snyder Cut,
Yes, back to the Snyder Cut.
what we know about the Snyder Cut is like, okay, like there's so much things that were leaked out, and so much stuff were leaked that were in the Blu-ray behind the scenes, and
Yeah,
some stuff Zack Snyder explained about the original designs, the original scenes, and he doesn't know anything about the Rush. He did not write anything about the Russian family or filmed about them.
nope. He didn't know about the Wonder Woman costume that was in the movie.
That was, yeah, for me.
Yeah, yeah. You asked that one, right?
Yeah, that was me, dude.
Yeah,
And what's my favorite part is that we know it was young Darkseid in the scenes that we're supposed to see. Like that was Uxas, aka Darkseid, before he became all evil and became,
yeah.
the most, fearful creature of them all.
Yep, the young Darkseid that was probably going to be in the new Gods movie, right? That's probably what they were setting up.
To see Darkseid at all, or don't know who is, or we don't know how the Darkseid looked like back then.
No, no. But we were going to see it. We were going to see it. It was going to happen.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the woman said there was a Darkseid in Kevin Smith's podcast.
Yeah, yeah. She says it. She said it was like unfinished, but she said it. It wasn't completely unfinished. It was kind of done. That's what she was saying about it, right?
And another thing I don't understand about a lot of moronic people is saying, "Oh, the Snyder Cut doesn't exist," and they're trying to shove in their faces. But now they're
Yeah.
believing it exists.
Yeah, yeah. For months they were saying it doesn't exist. Move on. And just like the more research we put in, the more we find out. It's
Yeah,
clear it's real. It's clear that it's sitting somewhere.
Between about they say the Snyder Cut isn't gonna change anything. To be honest, it can change a lot of things of the original things that didn't, do like well between theatrical cuts.
Yeah, it was going to change the movie entirely. I think when people are saying that it's not going to change anything, they're talking about like the course of the universe, right? And we're not going to
I
get any sequels that are tied into this Justice League. You know?
It can change a lot of things. I mean, the Justice League Snyder Cut can change just like the Superman 2 Donner's cut.
Yeah, yeah, it's going to be wildly different, and that's probably why Warner Brothers doesn't want to put it out because it's completely different, right?
And one thing about the Snyder Cut can be better than what we got is that one, Cyborg was the real was the real heart of the universe.
I'm
I
trying to think of some recent stuff that you posted. Oh, the Golden Mask one.
Yeah, I asked
What
him
is
what.
that? Yeah.
I mean, the only people I got from who said this was is it that Dark Fate's helmet, ordinary Mister Miracle's mask?
I'm thinking it's not. I mean, it kind of doesn't look like it. It
I
looks like
don't.
a skull face, doesn't it?
It does look like a skull face, but I asked him what is that mask that
Yeah.
that he had behind Barry's his apocalypse suit. But I'm like this. What are things that we don't know and do not know anything about what happened in the Snyder Cut and what was supposed to happen in the apocalypse era?
Yeah, I mean, they made that Flash suit for a specific reason. Something was going to happen. We were going to see them go to Apocalypse, or we were going to see him go back in time. One or the other.
I don't know. I mean, it's supposed to tie in what happened to Batman vs Superman, not just like forget everything.
Yeah,
I mean, there's got. Remember what Mr. Zack Snyder said about something darker. I mean, we know it's supposed to be Darkseid, enslaving the entire humanity, and Superman became a puppet to Steppenwolf and Darkseid. And what about the boom tube that happened? What Zack Snyder said about this is like, why did you delete this and reshot it for what? To make Henry's mouth look shitty when you just that was enough what you did. There was no reason to reshoot the entire film up.
Yeah, I mean, it only costs them more money to do that, right? It costs them fucking $100 million to reshoot when they had the film pretty much done. And
yeah, look what that happened. That if you're trying to chase the damn Disney dream, you're just a mediocre CEO who can't even realize you're gonna get a middle finger to your fans and everybody.
Yeah, that's all it was, really.
I mean, don't get me wrong. In San Diego Comic-Con, it was just like a dry season that time.
Yeah.
I mean, I expected like a little bit more than trailers we know we're gonna get, but we wanted like a little bit more stuff.
I mean, I would have been happy with a Snyder Cut. I would have been happy with some kind of acknowledgement other than the Wall Street Journal article, which came out around that time, right?
People like who works in Wall Street Journals and Grace reporter.
Oh yeah, she's been making some wild predictions, hasn't she? Grace Randolph.
She's annoying to me. I mean, she says, "Oh, like she sounds like a dying cat in my ears all over."
Yeah. I mean, she's been making some stupid predictions lately, like talking about how Wonder Woman's going to be the new Flashpoint. It just makes no sense. Makes no sense.
How does that make sense? I mean, gods cannot, new gods or old gods cannot defy time at all. They can't. And plus, Wonder Woman is just a pure fantasy in war film.
The only character that could travel through time is Flash. But yeah, back to that Flash suit in that golden mask picture. I feel like that ties in directly to the aerospace hanger that we saw in the storyboard where we see the aerospace Wayne hanger where he's been working on the Flying Fox and stuff.
Oh yeah, that one.
That's where I think the Flash suit is coming from. That's where like Bruce made it, and it was kind of a lot to do with that.
What's so funny about the Flying Fox scene? What Zack Snyder posted on his Vero is that it's funny how that one's more connected. What Zack Snyder posted during 2017 or earlier that time, and then that's more connected to that, and that was more, and we know that the Snyder Cut was more 3 hours. Was 3 hours. That's like 30 or 40 minutes later after we got that scene.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, I don't think they reshot like when she walks into the hangar. I don't think that's reshot, but they obviously cut out the scene where she was outside the hangar, right?
I think
Yeah.
you're right about that, and they also cut, reshot, talking to each other about where's the others,
Mhm.
but apparently we got the lake scene instead, the real one.
Yeah, yeah. I don't
There's a
know if the lake scene. That's probably it looked like a Snyder shot. It looked like something he would shoot, but
I
it's
don't think it's
at a
not.
different part of the film, right?
I don't think that's not his scene.
No, I'm saying that shot of the going over the lake. That's a Zack Snyder shot. They just pulled it from a different part of the film.
I don't know, dude, because I can't tell the difference which one's Zach's cut and what's Whedon's cut. I mean, we all know that how WB managed to make this film into a Frankenstein.
Yeah, we know a lot of the dialogue scenes, like they were all like changed around by Whedon.
Yeah, we all know that. And
Yeah.
plus, in the original version, what we know about the cut about Lois and Clark in the Kent farm
Mm.
is I'm asking this: why did you cut off? Like, where the hell did Clark get that flannel shirt from?
Right? Like, why don't we see him like change or like we just cut to him. He's already standing in a cornfield, and he looks
And
normal, right? He looks fine.
but
It's so
then later we
frustrating.
go to the ugly close up shot. While looking at the trailers of part of the Heroes trailer, I'm like this. Why did you reshot this? But show us the trailer. What the hell was this? Was the point that you shot all these scenes in a trailer, but deleted it all for?
I don't know.
In
I
fact,
mean, that's the strangest thing. I've never seen a movie come out and they had all these shots in the trailers. Even the last trailer before the movie, they have all these deleted scenes in there. It's like they're not even trying to hide this film, and then they put the film in theaters, and it's nothing at all like the trailers. And we're just supposed to forget about it and move on, right? We're not even supposed to question it. It's ridiculous. No other
I mean,
studio could get away with this.
no, nobody shouldn't get away with this kind of
Yeah,
kind of lie.
they lied to their base, right? They lied to the base of fans they had the whole year leading up. It was false advertising, is what it was.
I would say critical false advertisement. I mean, this is
Yeah.
worse than, the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I mean, at least the Suicide Squad they changed the trailers to right. Uh,
I,
yeah.
something I don't understand? Like, why back then did you show us, half baked Joker one of the trailers, but you didn't want to see that? I mean, this is like ridiculous. Like, I was expecting to see, half baked Joker, but you just got rid of that scene.
Yeah, I wanted
I
to
mean,
see that, but when his face was burnt, they totally cut that out.
no, yeah, they cut that out, and I'm like, why in the world did you reshot, deleted for the Suicide Squad? This is less. This is like the less worst, but Justice League is like, okay, this is like really, really bad. We got a lot of stuff that, and you said that it's gonna be Zack Snyder's vision, but you lied to us. I mean, I don't blame the cast, but I blame the Warner Bros. Executives.
Yeah, if they were straight up and said that it's not Zack Snyder's movie anymore, we could have prepared ourselves like a whole year leading up to it.
You
You know,
could have just, could have, delayed the film up.
yeah, I would have rather them put Josh Whedon's name on the director's credit than Zack Snyder's name because that's ridiculous. He hasn't even seen the movie yet. Still,
Yeah,
it's not his film at all. His name shouldn't be on it.
no, he shouldn't. And plus, Deborah and the cast shouldn't, be saying this is Zach's film. They
Yeah.
shouldn't because, I mean, I just feel so bad for them how they all had to react seeing this version.
Yeah, they got to play. They have to play nice so they can get more films made, right? Like they can't out Warner Brothers, right?
And plus, they all wrote the
Yeah,
NDAs. If, back then when Henry Cavill said he did not, said the Snyder Cut won't change, is that we all have to keep in mind that he did sign the NDA. We can't just, like be angry mob. But remember, if he said the Snyder Cut doesn't exist, we'd be mad at him for sure. But
yeah,
if he says Snyder Cut would not change because it does exist.
it does exist. He just thinks it's not gonna make a lot of money. It's not gonna change the course of the DCEU because they already are committed to a new plan and stuff. That's what he's talking about, right? but like, of course, the movie itself would be different.
I mean, the Warner Bros. Executives destroyed all the multiple characters, story arcs, and he, managed to destroy everything what Zack Snyder intended. And plus, how can this, this Justice League can be a great could be good in continuity when it has a lot of errors on the continuity?
Yeah, I mean, it totally ruins all continuity from BVS and Man of Steel. It's like, what was the point of the movie? Like when you
And
think back on Justice League, right?
I mean, and plus, if I want to circle around to Justice League film, I would rather say about the marriage about Lois and Clark. I mean, that's like important to the Man of Steel 2 or the story log of Man of Steel 2.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
what was the point that that they just show us that scene and but then later they just want to forget that scene?
There's no point to it, right? They were not thinking about making a cohesive film. They were thinking about making a popcorn flick that people could, forget about quickly so they could move on to some other films, right?
And I'm like this. How can we all move on to films when you just, we want? I mean, if Zack Snyder wanted to do 5 films, like I
Why
want,
not?
tell him like, really, he was ahead of his time, but you're just like, nope, I'm thinking about my ass.
Yeah, I mean, they don't want us to complain at all, which is hysterical, right? Um,
Complain on Zack Snyder for for making DC films, but you just don't like it what he does.
yeah, I mean, his plan would have worked. I mean, they had a really good idea to make a 5 movie story arc, and it was going to end, right? There was going to be a conclusion. It was going to have, consequences, and then they were going to reset the universe, right? They were going to redo everything, and they were just going to keep doing cycles like that instead of Marvel, who just continues to make one giant continuity that's not going to work. Because in the comic books, they tried to have a continuity last for 50 years, but it didn't work.
To be honest, like I'm not a to be honest, I don't even understand like why the hell you're copying Marvel films when I know you just when Justice League was a bad example and you just had hired of a garbage Marvel director. I mean, James Gunn. I'm like, can we at least not have
Yeah.
any more people who are from the Marvel area or
Yeah,
writing?
I hope he's not directing. Let's just I hope he's not directing. I hope he writes and somebody else fixes his script. But it looks like Warner Brothers just wants to do the Marvel thing and just make a bunch of movies that kind of tie into each other with like small Easter eggs, and that's going to be your DC universe, just like the Marvel universe. It's going to destroy cinema. It's going to destroy these movies. People are going to get tired of superhero films.
Yeah, because that's like I'm just saying that WB don't realize you're just encouraging these critics who want all Disney films instead of cinema films.
Yeah, yeah. Everyone's encouraging them to make movies like Marvel, but nobody sees that that's going to end the superhero genre. I mean, if we get the same films over and over, and no one's going to want to see these films anymore. It's really
And
that simple.
I mean, there's a reason I'd rather have Marvel. I mean, DC to be like its own way how it was Dark Knight.
Yeah,
And
Yeah, realism.
one thing I don't understand about Diane Nelson when she of her tweets is that why did you tweeted this and you don't realize is that your consequences was just interaction. We know that we all just did not like what you did back then on Justice League and what you did, and you were one of those executive producers.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe people didn't understand why people were mad at what she said. I mean, maybe people went too far, but definitely people were mad because they still are thinking about Justice League and the Snyder Cut, right? And she says something that kind of throws Snyder under the bus, but then she like buys it back, but it's already too late, right?
And I'm like this to Diane Nelson. You should have done something better, not something you could see that you throw Snyder at the bus. I mean, we all know what she was back then, and we know that her name was underneath on Justice League executive producer's name. I mean,
She was part of the problem. She must, every executive is to blame in my book, right?
Yeah, I mean that includes Kevin Tucciaro and Toby Emmerich,
Yep.
and Jeff Johns. I mean, and John Berg. I mean, they're all there to be blamed for.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, if you're the one to, I mean, if Jeff Johns was the reason got himself demoted and got him and stepped down already,
Yeah.
there's got to be a reason why he, reason he got stepped down or what reason he.
It's either he's taking the fall for it. It's either he's gonna get, thrown under the bus, or every executive's going down. So I think he was picked out to be thrown under the bus. He might have had, he might have been the main problem with Justice League, but he definitely was thrown under the bus when he was demoted, right?
Yeah, I mean, we all know that Jeff Johns, made that tweet says revise your list.
Right, and still, he must have been talking about the Snyder Cut, right? He must have been talking about Zack's film when he said that tweet, right? Because that's what he saw, Zack's cut.
I mean, we still don't know what he was talking about, but everybody's still calling him, he's the major snake of the grass.
We don't know. We weren't there. I mean, everyone likes to say that, but nobody was actually there. Nobody knows what happened. Has there been somebody that was close to the film that said he was to blame? I don't think there has been.
And we know that Rick, the former guy who used to be the Flash, I mean, we know that he gave shades to Warner Bros. About what happened to Justice League box office.
Oh yeah.
I guess he was mean about the executives and maybe Jeff and John Berg about the creativity.
Yeah, the executives were changing the film, just like many films before, right? I was just watching all the Halloween movies. And Halloween H2O was changed by executives. Curse of Michael Myers was changed by studio interference. Films get fucked around by studios all the time.
Can we at least have one time about interference and more creativity at least once? I mean, for example, if WB says we're cutting movies is like grass, and we're gonna give prime example if Justice League is a prime example. And what else? The Suicide Squad.
Yeah, another.
Batman vs. Superman, you took away 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. And what's my favorite part is that the Blade Runner, the theatrical cut.
Yeah, is Warner Brothers own Blade Runner?
They do, but the theatrical cut failed in theaters.
They released 5 different cuts. But they're holding on to the Snyder Cut for some reason.
I mean, I don't care about the air cut, but I want the Snyder Cut more than ever. And plus,
I mean, people just talk about the air cut just to rub salt in the wound, really, just to keep reminding people that Warner Brothers has fucked up 2 films, 3 films actually,
But BVS is good still because we got the.
Oh yeah. The Ultimate Cut's amazing.
And one thing I want to have them all, what they should do is have Zack Snyder redo his 5-story arc. I mean, if Justice League Part 2 is supposed to be something in the past, it can't be back still. Or he could do the last one could be the Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
He could do that. I mean, we need Hans Zimmerman for that music of that. I mean,
yeah, we're never going to get to that point now. We're never going to get to a Kingdom Come. Oh, yeah, we're never going to get to a Kingdom Come movie at this point. They're just going to keep rebooting and rehashing the same boring stories over and over again.
Really? You don't really want to do the Harry Potter style way or any like that kind?
Yeah, where the characters age and we see them evolve and stuff. It's just going to be, nope, the superheroes just stay the same. They never change. Those are the movies you're going to get now.
Superman can't age at all. He can. He can become an old man.
Yeah, he ages slowly, but he ages.
Superman can have a kid, and his legacy can live on.
Yeah, it's happened in the comics and stuff.
Yes, and plus, Superman is over his 30s. He should have already been married by Lois and have a kid.
Yeah, I still hope they do that for Man of Steel 2, right?
Or 3. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you're gonna have Superboy in the film, would you rather have him be more useful?
Yeah, I'd rather have him be Superman's son. He's a major plot point and stuff, right?
Well, that and plus, be circling to Man of Steel 1. I mean, if he was supposed to see his dad drowning to the skulls, and then rather have him some kind of reference to Smallville idea where, Clark's kid is running there and try and get him, back out to the ground, but he just also sinks down too.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool. I would get the kid, the kid who played young Clark in Man of Steel. the one that rescued the bus.
Yeah.
I would get that kid to be Superboy, a 15-year-old Superboy, the
Clone or the son of Superman.
son of Superman, right?
Dang it. Maybe that would work, but he's already like over his 20s by now. That wouldn't
Really?
work. Like it's been.
He probably hit his 20s by now. If he was 16, doing Man of Steel. Dude, when Ray Fisher said that the movie was a two-part, might have had enough footage to be a two-part Justice League film.
That would have been like above 3 hours already.
Yeah, it would have been almost 4 hours probably, that footage they had.
Franchises shouldn't be all about your profits or making about some stupidity. And another thing is I don't like what they're doing right now is that I know they have a new PR system, but still is that WB's PR sucks big time.
Yeah, they fucked up all this year, like they have done a shitty job at promoting Aquaman, It's just we're like 1 month away from the release and we're just now getting all this, information about Aquaman. I think they started promoting it like last month, right? Or the beginning of this month. And that's all the promotion they're going to get for Aquaman.
We only got like the trailer, that's it, and the stores we only get action figures.
Yeah.
But they're not like like where the main prime for the kids' toys are at.
We had a year and a half of like advertisement for BVS. They put it like what $200 million into BVS's marketing. They were going all out, but they don't want to do that for any more superhero films.
And I bought those serials of Batman vs Superman that time.
Yeah.
And I loved them. And second of all, is that I don't understand why you're not promoting Aquaman enough? Why you're not gonna put AT&T service gags or anything like that?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't understand one thing about the WB's PR. It's like we all know that your PR sucks big time. I mean, look at what you said about Henry's rumor.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say non-statement, but more like it's poorly written.
Yeah, why couldn't they think of anything better to say? They knew that it was going to happen, right? They must be prepared for these rumors, right? I understand how they could be caught off guard by anything.
I mean, we all know that that rumor about that statement would trigger a lot of bases, like DC fans, Superman fans, Marvel fans at the same time.
Yeah, it would.
And second of all, if Justice League is gonna be Henry's last Superman part, this is we all demand Snyder's cut version, not the bizarre one we got. I was wondering what Zack Snyder would post on his Vero. I mean, we got some plenty of the storyboards and a lot of photos that weren't in the cut.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I want to talk about Zack Snyder. Do you think it's interesting how Zack Snyder follows a lot of people that have released the Snyder Cut in their name, and he comments on stuff like yours and other people's stuff that are just fully on board with the Snyder Cut? Do you think it's interesting how he interacts with you and other people like that?
Yeah, he does. I mean, if you have any interesting questions or you just comment about something about it, I mean, he interacted you once.
Yeah, a long time ago, he answered one of my questions. It's amazing how he will, chooses to, talk to people. He'll answer any questions about BVS that he hasn't already answered. He'll comment on release the Snyder Cut stuff.
And my favorite part is that he answered my question about the Steppenwolf and about the Wonder Woman scene.
Yeah, and those were both pretty recent. I mean, I think he answered my question back in April or something. But yours
so funny.
Recent.
He did pictures about the release of Snyder Cut back in last week.
Yeah, he is totally not hiding that he wants it to happen. He's totally not hiding the fact that he wants it too, right?
I mean, yeah, but dude, the reason why we want the Snyder Cut because it can change a lot to the universe and restore everything. I mean, don't get me wrong.
They definitely wouldn't allow it though, right? Warner Brothers, they'll let the movie play, but they're not gonna call it canon. It's just
You know,
gonna be
the,
an
the truth is
Elseworld.
the
Yeah.
the truth is the Team Justice League Theatrical Cut I wouldn't call canon at all because what we
I
saw
mean,
was just
it's not gonna tie it to anything. The movie doesn't even matter. It's not even. It's not even like they're not going to reference it in Aquaman. They're not going to reference it in Shazam. They're not going to reference it in Wonder Woman. It's like, what was the point of this Justice League movie? And I bet the Snyder Cut would have a bunch of different, extending storylines that were going to go past Justice League, and that's why they don't want to release it.
and I'm like this to Wonder Woman 84. I'm like, if this was, like, why the hell did that happen in Justice League, but we didn't see this version? And also, and what was the big impact when we know about that Billy and his friends never met each other, and you defined it was Billy that made that horrible CGI mustache scene? And
Yeah,
I'm like, this, how could that be him when they never met him? And
yeah,
plus,
yeah,
how can that dialogue even exist in that point when it
yeah,
was never on the comic books and was never on Man of Steel 1?
yeah. Those kids are definitely not Billy and Freddie Freeman for sure. They're definitely not. So what's the point of the scene? Like what's
I mean, what was the point that you just did that? And plus, what's the point that you're going to make new gods when we didn't see, all the new gods? Like, we didn't see Darkseid, we didn't see the real form of Steppenwolf.
Yeah, yeah. We should have though. They were in the movie.
And it's my favorite part is that if the new gods was supposed to be Ava's project, she should have seen the real version of Justice League, not this,
Mm.
just messy version.
What's some last things you want to talk about the Snyder Cut, and then we'll wrap up here.
And the ending, so funny about, Jay Olivia said about the Dirt ending is that it's like 100% confirmed that Snyder said it does have a different ending what we got in the theatrical cut. I mean,
Yeah.
we're not supposed to some kind of rehash of Reeves or can't be Superman.
Hmm.
We're supposed to see some kind of like Superman just became straight up being savage.
Yeah, became a god. We were going to see him wreck Steppenwolf more than he did in the theatrical version because he did beat up Steppenwolf pretty easily in the theatrical cut, but it was going to be way more than that. Way more than that. Yeah, I would have much rather seen what Chris Terrio wrote than what the hell Josh Whedon came up with.
I mean, Chris Terrell is not a lazy writer.
Yeah, he's an Oscar-winning writer. He knows how to write a script.
I'm like this, like the Dirt ending was supposed to be epic as fuck, and then later you just chosen Josh Whedon's, Dirt act, and
Mhm.
we know the Dirt act was messed up when Wonder Woman and Aquaman were like on the second trailer. Was it the Dirt trailer on Comic Con where we saw he says "all right," and it was like, wait a minute, something's different what we saw on the Dirt last trailer I saw.
Yeah, you could tell. Yeah, what was Zach's right?
Yeah, plus something was wrong with that all right scene. I mean, I saw in the trailer something was not right when I was seeing the last trailer.
Mm.
I mean, remember Aquaman says all right on the
All right.
background was
Yeah, yeah. He
and
said on the Bat Pod, yeah.
they had blue. The third one was Comic Con. It had like a different. It had blue color.
Yeah, yeah, it had a completely blue color. They didn't add the red sky until the very, very last trailer. That's when you saw the red sky and stuff. But yeah, what
I'm
else
like,
do you got? What else do you want to say right now before we sign off here? What else do you got to say to the people listening?
as we all know about the Snyder Cut for doing the phone calls, and we all hope that. And I hope Fiona Zhang, gives us a new idea, gives us another plan what to do on the Snyder Cut movement.
Yeah, hopefully they'll have another phase set up here because I mean, there's a lot of people in it for the long haul. I'm here until we get the Snyder Cut for sure.
And
Um,
you see, and do
yeah,
you follow Fiona Zhang and Vero or Twitter?
yeah, I follow her on both.
I mean, believe me or not, over in Vero, you can tell I have like 1,000K. I mean, isn't it interesting that he follows me on Vero?
It's fucking amazing. Like, I think that's so awesome that Zack Snyder follows fans and people that love Justice League and Batman vs Superman.
I mean, don't wrong. Batman vs Superman and Man of Steel were the only good DC films that ever. I mean,
Masterpieces. Masterpieces.
they're damn awesome, and I wish that I wish that I hope one day or somehow Zack Snyder can make DC films without the interference they did to him.
Yeah, hopefully one day he'll have another chance. Because I definitely don't want Justice League to be his last DC film.
None of us don't want that. We all want like a real good one. We want like the Kingdom Come to be his last one, a
That
good
would
one.
be awesome. That would be so awesome.
But we want Kingdom Come be a split one, like have a good, beautiful last shot of a continued scene.
Yeah.
I mean, you think he could nail that or not?
Of course he could nail it. Zack Snyder. He's amazing at doing moments and amazing, shots, epic shots.
I mean, don't get me wrong. In the last, of a last shot of a to be continued scene, it should be epic and amazing, and somehow like the villain won this round.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And plus, a crying ending scene, and then we saw like kind of like the Harry Potter Deathly Hallows Part 1. Like we know, Voldemort has a wand already.
Well, I mean, we saw Zack Snyder post. Was it your comment that he said they're looking at the boom tube in the end?
It wasn't on my comment, but it was somebody else's post.
But yeah, so he already had a grand epic shot planned for the end of Justice League with the boom tube and probably seeing Darkseid on the other side. It was gonna be so epic.
But then W was like, no, let's get rid. We don't want Justice League Part 2. Let's get rid of it.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, thank you all for joining us. Thank you for Jacob Torres for doing this. We had technical difficulties before, so this is like our third time trying to record this. But yeah, hope everyone had a great time listening, and we'll see you all on the next one. Or if he ever comes back, we'll do another one. You have any last words?
No, dude. Let's hope release the Snyder Cut, and let's follow Fion Zhang on Twitter or Vero.
Hell yeah. All right, that's it for now. Bye.